Welkom bij de Alles over Spanje Podcast. De podcast die je meeneemt achter de schermen van het leven, investeren en ondernemen in Spanje. Ik ben Glenn Snels, vastgoedexpert en ondernemer met passie voor Spanje. Elke maand breng ik nieuwe verhalen, inzichten en tips met één doel: jou helpen om van Spanje meer te maken dan een droom alleen. Klaar om Spanje echt te ontdekken? Vamos! Welcome to a new episode of the All About Spain podcast. Today we're going to talk about renting out a house in Spain with our expert Silvia from SGM Lawyers. Thank you, Silvia, for joining us.
Thank you, Glenn. How are you? It's a pleasure, as always, to be here with you. So very looking forward to talk about the rental, which is always a conflictive subject between all our clients. So we start whenever you're ready.
It's a topic, especially now, because in the beginning of the month there were some changes again. So there are a lot of people worrying and also thinking about buying something, but don't know really how it works. So let's start on, because there are a few types of rental, no? In Spain.
Yes. In Spain, we have 4 types of rental, okay? You could do the classic one, which is long-term rental, which is for your habitual home. Okay, so
Yes.
this type of contract, you do it for 1 year and it is renewed until 5 years or more. So the people that is living there, because it is their habitual home, they have the right to stay there at least for 5 years if they want it. The law protects them, and then they can do it if both parties, the owner and the rental person, they agree, and they can be prolongating the contract. This is the most simple contract because it doesn't require any registration, any license, or any permission from the community. So this is quite straightforward. Imagine I own a property. Actually, I have a small apartment and I rent it for a long term. I didn't want to do this nightmare with all the licenses and things. So I rent it for a long term. And the tenants that are living there is their only home. They live permanently. So the contract is annual. Every year renews until 5 years. So imagine if I wanted to tell them, no, I don't want to rent anymore, I can't. I must wait for law until 5 years if they want to stay, obviously. If I needed the property for my own use, in this case, yes, I allowed to tell them you have to leave because I need a house for myself. Imagine that working in Belgium, okay, and my contract is finished, I'm coming back, so I will be entitled to have access to my own property for myself, but not to rent or to sell to somebody else.
Okay.
It's clear. It's important that it's clear for our audience.
Okay.
So I will not need consent from the community. I don't need any type of license or any type of registration or anything. Okay, that's why it's quite straightforward and simple, because you just have a house, you put it out for rent, somebody rent it out, long term. That's it.
Yeah.
Then we have the famous touristic rental, okay,
Yes.
which is for periods maximum 11 days. Okay. Before it could be 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Now the law established only the maximum time is 11 days. And they need to ask for the touristic license, okay, which is giving the town hall needs to allow the touristic rental in their town. And that is one of the first situations somebody may find, because Alicante, for example, which is a big city near us, has stopped it until 2027, if I correctly. Then Finestrat, another town, has suspended because they do not have a law to regulate the touristic rental. So while they are preparing the law, they suspend the licenses.
Okay.
So it is very important to know that it could be that today you buy in the apartment and the town hall say, yes, we allow, but in 2 weeks they suspend it or cancel for a while. So that we call the compatibility, which means we have to find out if this type of rental is compatible in this city or in this town.
Yeah.
Once we have that, the next step is to apply to the administration for the touristic license, and then you will get the touristic number, which is what everybody should put in their Airbnb page or booking, etc.
Yes.
That was what it was. But now with the new law and the new regulation, there is two things. First, the community can prohibit or stop or condition the touristic rental. So many communities, and we see it more, they just agree to not allow the rest to rent the property. Touristic.
Yeah.
Touristic.
Yeah.
They cannot do it for a long term or short term. Only touristic rental. So if for a majority of 3/5,
Yeah. Three fifth. Yeah.
3/5, they can stop one of the neighbors to rent the property. Before it said that they could condition or ask for extra money, but they didn't have the capacity to stop the rental. Now they do.
Yeah, they have
That's one
a
of the main-
stronger power to
Correct.
stop touristic rental.
Correct. And as well, there is now the obligatority of register the property in a general register where all the houses must be registered, and where you specify if it's for a touristic rental or short time rental. By doing that, you give all the information to the government, because this is national, okay? So all the houses in Spain that are going to be rented for touristic reason or at the short time rental that is different to long time rental, it has to be registered there.
It's recently that you have to do it, eh?
Yeah, you have to do it. We actually already did many for all our clients because the law has become obligatory at the beginning of July.
Yes,
So
yes.
we are on the 22nd today. We've been since, I believe, was the 7th of July when it was mandatory, if I remember correctly. So we've been registering all our clients' houses in this new, we call RUA register, okay? Which is unique obligatory registration for rental houses.
Yeah.
More or less, for understand this name.
Yeah.
So important, touristic license, okay? Or touristic rental. First thing, check with the town hall if this type of rental is compatible with the rules from the town hall. Yes. Next step is to apply for the permission of the community, which they need to give it in writing. Yes, we allow the touristic rental in our community, and then apply for the touristic rental. Once I have this touristic number or touristic license, then the registration in the general register where must be registered as well. That more or less will be the steps. So as you could see, we have like 4 steps. Registration in the rental circuit of houses, that is quite straightforward and easy. It's more about informing the government, I have a second house and I'm renting out, for them to check, pay me the taxes.
Yeah.
But the other 3, especially the town hall compatibility and the second one that is to the community, allow me to rent, are very important. Because even if today the community told you, yes, you can rent it, they need to think that you need to renew the license in 5 years.
Yes.
So in 5 years, the community must allow again for you to rent the property. They sell and buy, and there is new owners. They may say, no, I'm not agree because they've been very noisy, which I do understand. I mean, I got clients coming here complaining because some people rent the house like short time, like 10 days. They come like young people, they make parties, and they come to rest, and they cannot rest because they are outside. So I do understand like the investor, which obviously I want to invest in Spain, and the touristic rental, the rentability is the higher one.
Yeah.
But I do understand on the other side, people that comes to have a little bit of peace in Spain and relaxed life, and they got a party every night of the week. So it is a difficult one.
Yeah, of course.
But we can only stick to what the law say, and if we just do the steps and we got our license, then so be it.
Yeah, of course. And then
we have the next one is the what we call like season rent, okay, which is different to the touristic rent or the long time rent, because the difference is not the time, because this could be from 1 day to 2 days, 3 days, 4 months, 6 months, 3 years. What it marks or what it gives us this type of rent is the reason. This type of rent is prepared for people that comes to work here for a contract of 6 months, but their home is not here. They use this house because they are working or because they are studying. Imagine, for example, somebody from Belgium, and they got the opportunity to
Erasmus.
Erasmus,
Yes.
and they rent a property. Okay, this type of property will be for a season. Which season? The time that this person is studying at the university in Madrid or Valencia or Alicante. Or the type, or imagine somebody from America is coming in a project here to do a investigation project.
Yeah.
And for 3 years. So their home, their house, their family, all their nucleo is in America, but he's going to be in this project for 3 years in Spain. So this rent will be for this season. And the reason, it has to be specified in the contract, will be it rents the property for 2 years, 3 years, 3 months, because of the investigation project at the university. So for work, for a student, for investigation, or imagine that somebody comes from another city, from Madrid to Alicante, because their family, the mama or their father lives here and they are ill, and they come for a period of 2 weeks to take care of them, the hospital, and they rent a property for 2 weeks. That will be this type of rent.
Okay. A seasonal rent then.
See, it's a seasonal, let's put.
Yeah.
Normally,
it's not a vacation use, but it's a special type of like study.
Taking care of a family, working, or investigation, or something like this.
Or for yourself, a medical treatment in Spain, maybe.
Correct. If the reason is holiday, it's not possible.
No.
You have to go or a hotel or a touristic apartment. So, meaning for the people that wants to rent, or they rent a touristic apartment, which they have to have the license, the registration and everything, or they need to go to a hotel. There is no more options. Fortunately, the seasonal contract doesn't allow for holiday. For holiday, they have the touristic rental.
Yeah.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah. Before we were speaking about the touristical rental, but maybe we forgot something also, that is the license is only for 5 years. And if you sell the property, you cannot transfer the license, because there is a lot of people that mention it on Idealista.
No, but that's not allowed anymore.
No, but
The new
there still are. I watch a lot to Idealista also for resale sometimes, and then the people say, "Look, the property has a touristic license," but people that listen to this podcast know that it's not transferable to
is not.
from one person to the other one.
Correct. The new owner needs to apply for the license, needs to apply for the permission from the community, and it has to be on their new owner's name. So you cannot transfer the property with the license. That's not possible. It's very important that the people know. In the case of the rental for season, you still has the obligation to register it in the central register for all the houses. So you inform the government or the local authorities that you have a house that you rent for seasonal rents. Okay?
Yeah.
So you have to inform. The community doesn't care, because this type of contract is regulated by the same law like the long-time rental. So it doesn't say that the community has to give you authorization, okay? So in this case, it is easy because you don't have that. But it's important that if somebody use this type of contract, that in the contract specify the reason. And the reason cannot be they coming on holiday. That's not possible.
No.
It has to be they coming to study, or they coming to work in a project, or they coming to, I don't know, any other thing, to take care of a familiar, or become a market study because they want to set up a company here. It could be all these things. Then they need to be in the area to see if it's a good area to set up a business or not. But not possible for holiday.
No.
Okay. Yeah. For that, you use the touristic housing or rental.
Yeah, and can you combine these two types of rental?
Yes, you can combine. That's allowed. Okay. Then obviously the long time no, because once you go to a long time rent, you know that for 5 years the people living there has the right to stay if they want. This one is independent, but you can rent touristic if you have your license, you have everything, and then you can be renting for a season. Imagine that you have a client that say, "Look, I'm going to be there for 3 months for work. Will you rent it?" And you want? Yes, you can do. You can do both. That's not a problem.
Okay. But both of them needs to be registered in the registry Okay.
Both of them. And then we will have the last one, which is not like that popular, but is room renting. Okay.
Yeah.
So some people that they have their home, they rent rooms. You can rent it again, short term or long term. It's not allowed the touristic use for a room. Okay, it's important because before the law allow it, but now not anymore. So you could rent a room for somebody that is working, imagine in the wine in the north, because they need to collect the grapes for three months. For instance, I am not an expert, so I don't know. So this person could come and rent a room in my house for these 3 months. It's allowed, no problem. Or I can rent it for them to live there. Imagine I have a big house and I want to rent underneath. I have 3 rooms to rent for somebody to live there. I can do it. Though not touristic. Okay.
No.
Very important.
No. I know, for example, somebody that lived on the Canary Islands but worked in Madrid as a hostess on an airplane. So she stayed in Madrid and she rented the room because it was cheaper to rent out on all apartments. So that's
so there are many situations like this, especially with the students. So my mom's friend, she has a very large apartment in the center of Valencia, and she rented to students. So she got really popular because she cooks for them as well. So she rent the rooms. She's super entertained because obviously she's widow, she's alone, and the fact that she wake up, cooks for the students, and get the rooms ready is like something that she really wants to do, and at the same time she makes money. So that is,
Okay. Are there other things that people need to know about
I mean,
renting?
I think that the most important one is the touristic rental, because it's the one that has had more changes. The new regulation about the community is a game changing, okay? Because now you depend every 5 years on the community to allow you to rent it or not, which is not ideal. Because at the end, okay, you could have it now for 5 years, but in the next 5 years, you need to ask again. There are already houses that are built as a touristic use.
Okay.
Important that our audience knows this, because if you are an investor and you want to invest in Spain and you want to do touristic rental, go for the houses that already are built with this purpose, because they already are built. The whole block of apartments are being rented out. Actually, you cannot use it for your own house. It's not allowed, because the only use allowed is touristic. And that is a really good option, because you don't have to depend on the community. You don't have to depend in nothing else, because the houses are touristic already. They born, let's put it for an example, as a touristic house. And already in this type of touristic apartment, there is already a company in them that rent it out for you and promote and takes care of everything. So nearby, we have 2 big projects, and we have many, many clients buying them already, because they avoid all the situation. That said, it's important as well to know that we have clients that are renting touristic rental successfully. The community grant the permission, the town hall grant the permission, and they are very satisfied and happy. So the fact that now become more difficult doesn't mean that it's impossible.
No,
We have
that's true.
clients that are renting it and everything goes very well.
Yeah, you need to be informed, and you need to know how it works, because the most of the people, they do it because of they have an apartment, but they want to rent out touristic because get more a higher return on investment, and then they do it just to cover the costs of community, of the cost they have maybe for a loan they have. So they want, and they are flexible with the touristic out, because they say, okay, look, in these periods I rent it out touristically, and the rest of the year I go myself or my family or my children. So that's why we are doing this podcast as well, for these people to get to know what's changed and what's actual at this time of the recording. Obviously, we cannot look in the future, because we don't know what it's going to be in 5 years, or because it can change. It's everywhere around the world. But now, actual. In 2025, it's this.
It is the regulation we have, and I mean, and information is power. So if somebody is making a decision of buying full informed of what is going to happen or could happen, then it's fine, it's fair, because they know. The problem arises when, and sometimes, I mean, we, you, me, or the professionals that we are around, we try our best, but rules change like this. So sometimes you call the town hall, they told you, yeah, we allow the touristic license. This day is suspended, and they don't call you back to tell you.
No.
They don't publish anywhere. And maybe you tell the clients, yes, it's possible, but they suspended the day after or the month after. And you don't know. And that's something, this lack of security is something the clients needs to know, because we can inform what is today, but tomorrow anything can change. Rule or a new law is coming, because our government, like all the governments, they love to do laws.
Changes.
That's crazy. So we never know when a new law is coming or a new regulation or something. The thing we could do is when something comes, study and then do the right thing for our clients.
Yeah.
Because before the touristic rental didn't have maximum time. The people could rent 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and now it's like 11 days. But it is something. I believe it's 11 days. So what is the point? I mean, why they cannot rent for more days? Because the government is understanding by doing this law that for holiday, 10 days is enough.
It's
So
yeah. We talked about it before, right? It's a stupid
it's really
11 days is because I know a lot of people, they take holiday for 14 days or 2 weeks, you know.
clear.
Yeah, so that's what it is.
What it is, and
Yeah.
then people find another way because I've been speaking with clients and they say, look, what we do is we rent for 11 days or we rent for 10 days, then we go out for 1 day and then we rent it again for 10 days on my wife's name or on my son's name.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's an inconvenience because they need to go out 1 day and then in.
Practical, it's more difficult than before. Yeah.
But at the end, people find a way, Glenn, and they keep renting it. So this 11 days rule is like, okay, wherever people goes over this, but the other things, the community, pues you need the permission. That's a difficult one to avoid. You have to have it.
Yeah.
And also the town hall needs to be agree with this type of touristic. Sometimes in the same town, there are some areas that they allow the touristic license, but other streets, they don't. For example, here in Benihofar, where we are located, the Benihofar Town Hall has 3 streets that, yes, they allow the touristic rental, but there are other streets that they don't. Doesn't make sense, but it's like this. So they have these things. Then all from a sudden they suspend it all. Then they arrange that, yes, now we can rent it. It's like this. So that's why each type of house, each client is unique and the work needs to be done and verified. Important to know if it's a new built property, once the property is finished, we need to check with the community that is already set up, the community, to give the permission. Because you could have a client that the property is finished, but because the whole area is not finished, there is not community. And if the community doesn't give you the permission, you cannot apply.
Yeah, that's true. And also something we didn't mention maybe, but is a community is not always apartments. It can also be houses, a community in Spain, because that is also very
Correct.
In Belgium. We have mostly communities for apartment buildings, but in Spain it can 5 villas in a big plot, and they form a community because they have. So that's also, even if you're looking at a villa, you also have to check if it's a community or it's a villa independent. Yeah.
Glenn, is a very, very good point that you just named here, because as you said, it's different to other countries. So in Spain, there is 2 ways of building. You could have the land, which is shared. Even though you divide, you do the horizontal division, still the land is shared. That means it's community. Even though there are not communal areas, what is communal is the land. And then there is other way where they segregate the land and each portion of the land is independent. In this case, you don't have community and you don't need any authorization. But in the first case, despite that could look that you are independent, you are not. And you still need the permission. And if there is not community and the builder didn't include in the general rules that touristic rental is allowed, you may have not the possibility to rent it.
Yeah.
Because you don't have that document or permission. So totally agree. What we are noticing more is that more builders, when they build that the land is common for everybody, they include in the title deed the stipulation that it says that the touristic rental is being agreed and allowed for everybody.
Yeah.
So that's really good because
Okay.
it's already on the deeds, it's already granted, and everybody knows that. So
That's a good.
very good. We
yeah.
already see more and more, and if we don't see it, we ask for it.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Also, that if you can be upfront with all these things, it's better for the future. Eh?
You give opportunities to the clients. They may want to rent it or not, but if they want, they already have this part of the community sorted out.
Any last things about renting?
Basically, we cover everything, only like if you want to do the touristic rental, knowing that what today the lawyer or the agency could tell you may change in the future. And they need to know that, because some people, when we inform, they say, I'm safe. Yes, you are safe at the moment. But in the future, the community, the town hall, the laws may change. And to the future, nobody can guarantee anything. Important they have this in mind. And also open mind to other types of rent. Because the rental for long time, okay, I know it has the inconvenience that they cannot use the property, but they give you rentability as well. There are not rentals, houses in Spain. Many Spanish people and foreigner people are looking a house for live permanently.
Yeah.
So that allows the rental, if they want, it could be higher. You have the same person, which is paying, doesn't give you any hassle. So that's another option to consider.
Yeah.
For
And you
those-
mentioned also that they have like bonificación, no?
Yes,
For
for
long-term
the
rental. Huh?
long tax, exactly. This type of rent, you got 50% free of tax. So, for instance, imagine that you get 200 euros benefit. Let's say it is. You deduct the expenses because you can deduct all the expenses. Say that you have 150 euros in expenses. So, for the other 50 euros, 50% is free of tax. So you will pay taxes only on 25 years.
And that's only with the long-term rental, no?
Yes, this bonification is only with the long-term rental. The previous year, the bonification was 60%. This year, they changed it for 50%. But it's a really good one, and nobody knows that.
Okay, yeah, that's...
Touristic rental, there is no bonification. Income, less expensive, and then you pay taxes.
Yeah. So you can also conduct the expenses only on the months you rent, not the other months.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What the team here does is like how from the 365 days, how many days has been renting the property. So they do like
Calculation.
Yes, a calculation on the expenses to those days and the proportional part. Because if you rent it in a month only 15 days, the electricity bill, you can only deduct 15 days.
Yeah.
You see? So it's important. In the long term, you're renting all the time. So all the expenses are fully deductible. So just for people to know, it's a good option, good alternative. I mean, I it's a rental that I like. It's really hassle-free. And it gives you maybe less rentability, but it's always there.
Yeah, stable, yeah.
It's stable. And also it has the nice part that somebody is living there and you give the opportunity for people to make it their home. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I like that. I like the idea of, for me, it's easy because I have less hassle, but somebody is living there and is making their home. So it's nice. So only for the audience to know that that's is there in the table, and as well the rental for season is in the table, and there are not many long-time rent or seasonal rent. There are not that many. So as soon as you buy an apartment and you put it for rent, you get somebody to rent it. You can choose, and that's something people doesn't know.
It's very, because I know, for example, people, they are looking for a home in Spain, but they don't want to decide fast. So they first rent a house in Spain and live there a while in an area and know the area before buying. I hear a lot that it's very difficult to find price comparing quality houses, because sometimes the rent is very high. The house is not really
It's not that good.
Or very old, and it's
Glenn, in this town, in Benihofar, the apartment that I have is a small apartment. And when I check online, like rental houses in Benihofar, what I find was 1,200, 900. It was like for a small apartment and ugly apartment. Both. Okay, it was one that was, can't remember, maybe over 2,000 euros and was like luxury apartment, very nice, but still, who can pay that in Spain? I mean, it's a lot of money. As soon as I list my apartment, which I'm renting it for 600, so I had people where I could choose, and at the end, I mean, the person that my husband is in charge of this, he spoke with the people, and it was a nice couple, and they are renting it, but it was super popular. I mean, I was worried. It's the first time I did it, and I thought, oh my God, maybe nobody wants to rent. I have the apartment, then I have to sell it, these worries that tells you. And oh my God, I thought I should have done it before when the houses were cheaper. As I said, they are extremely happy. The apartment is in front of the office, which they come often here. And I mean, they are lovely couple. I'm super happy. And also as I said, the fact that I'm in price. I'm not taking advantage of the situation, but if somebody wanted, because they do it for purely business, you could. Because I was competing 900 euros, 720, 1,200. It was crazy. And that's something people doesn't know, because they focus only on the touristic rental. That's been said that the rentability is higher, but is it? Because when you check how many times you can rent, cleaning, then the expenses are not all deductible. So is there, because you don't have bonification, you have to make numbers.
Of course. And also, a lot of people manage it from their country. I have it a lot with clients, and then at the end they call me, oh, we have this problem, we don't know how to handle it, or every time there
is something.
There can happen something. It is like that. So if you don't are well prepared, or you don't have a power team, I always say, a team that a plumber, it's sometimes quite hard to manage it from distance. And even if you're there, I know people, they live fixed in Spain, but they don't speak Spanish. It's also difficult to manage, because they cannot contract local people, so they take plumber from the UK. It's more expensive, and so on and so on.
Correct. So, it is true. So I hope, like, after our audience listen to the options they have a more clearly picture of what the rental options they have, and they can make some money, which at the end also is a good option and good alternative. And yes, I mean, if anybody has any questions, as we said in the last podcast, they can contact you, and we will be super happy to clarify them, or make another podcast, or whatever.
One thing maybe, because there are a lot of people listening from, it's not only from Costa Blanca, but sometimes they also are listeners from Costa del Sol. In Spain, you have two types. You have local and national, no?
The registration, this RUA that I say, that's national. But the touristic license that we say about the 10 days, and the touristic compatibility, this is for the Valencian community. It's different in Murcia. Actually, in Murcia is different, and it could be different in Costa del Sol. So the advice always is, where, depending on the area that you are buying, to go to the lawyer, which will inform you the conditions. You may need a license, but the regulations are totally different, because as we have communities, the government give this type of regulation to the communities or to the town halls. That's why we have different rules in different places. It's a little bit chaotic. So, for example, in Murcia, you can rent 2 weeks, no problem with that, or 3 weeks. This time limitation.
From my experience, Murcia is a little bit more easier
Sí.
than the Costa Calida, than Costa Blanca is I say to people, it's more easy going than Costa Blanca is more strict regulated now at the moment, Comunidad Valenciana.
Correct.
Okay, thank you for all this good advice. Thank you for being in this podcast.
Thank you to you to have me.
Hopefully we record one very soon.
Yes, if your audience is happy and they like, so I'm more than happy to share this moment with all of you, and then we can speak about anything that they worried. Maybe you could ask them to leave in comments what they would like to hear about, and then we can prepare it. Yeah. Very nice.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you to you. Thank you.
Bedankt voor het luisteren naar de Alles over Spanje podcast. Vond je deze aflevering waardevol? Abonneer je dan zeker via je favoriete podcastkanaal of deel hem met jouw amigos. Heb jij vragen of plannen? Contacteer ons dan via www.allesoverspanje.be. Dan helpen we jou graag verder. Tot de volgende aflevering. Hasta pronto!